Hello, this is David Roozrokh, the KC real estate guy. Often I've been asked, like, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I start buying a home or selling a home? And I thought to myself, maybe it's good to have one of my clients, Gabriella, here because she's got some questions that I think you probably have the same questions as well. So let's just get down with it. Let's just take a look at it, see what she might have. And obviously you can reach out to me and ask me questions too later on. There'll be a number and also a website. You can just call me or email me, however that you're comfortable. And I'm happy to just return your request. So welcome, Gabriella, and thank you for coming. I know you wanted to buy a house right away, and
Yeah.
I kind of slow down the process so you can just kind of see what goes first.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, your situation.
Yeah, so I'm from California originally, and I've been in Kansas City for 4 years, and I think it's just time to buy a home. You know, why pay rent when you know you could probably have
I
a
know.
mortgage?
Right.
You know, that's probably less.
Oh,
So
I know exactly. I got it. Yeah.
So yeah, there's, you know, when you start looking into buying a home for the first time, there's just so many things that you don't know, and so many questions that you think you should ask, and then questions that you feel like you should know, but you don't even have the questions to ask.
You're scared to ask. Like
Yeah.
you wonder, is that a good question or bad question?
Yeah.
But Gabrielle, any question is a good question.
Okay.
There is no bad questions because if it is in your mind,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
No, you're
Okay,
right.
so you let me know what they are and we dig into it as much as we can. And again, if the audience, if they want to, get more information, they can just get back with me about that.
Yeah,
So what's your
absolutely.
questions?
Yeah, let's start with the first one. Let's see. What's the best source to find a good home? Like when you're looking, there's so many different websites. Like a lot of people say, go to Zillow or different places. Like what do you recommend? Because you've been in this for a long time.
Yeah. Well, the places like Zillow and Realtor.com and other places, they do offer probably same listings. It's uploaded from multiple listings, which is the main place that it's uploaded. But because they're not in a real estate business, they're in a business of capturing your information so they can sell it to fellow agents or someone that's actually paying for that page.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So
Wow.
I try to talk people out of it, and I think people see that. I mean, I really had a client yesterday, and he said, David, why is it everybody's calling me and I want to sell my house or something, and I don't like cold call. And I told him that I do not, I will not
Wow.
solicitate or give you without your permission to the public at all. Okay, what it is between you and I, it's between you and I. So the best answer to your question is
Yeah.
either, you call me and I'll set you up with the criteria that you're looking for. So that way it's set for you already.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to be calling you. I'm not going to be contacting you. You can just take a look at that and then we can just revisit. So you can get on my website and it will give you all the listings that are available in Johnson County, Kansas City, Missouri, and anywhere you want.
Okay, wow. So I just go onto your website and just type in like what I'm looking for, and then I can see different listings?
You can see that, and
Okay.
you put the address in there. You can actually look at it with a map or something.
Oh, wow.
Which
Okay.
is it kind of covers everything. No website is the best website.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
got
Yeah.
something to it.
Yeah.
So, but I believe the website that I have that created, it will give you what you need. And
Yeah.
if there's something that is missing, it's probably just the listing side of it that you don't see. And you need to get back with me and ask me questions about that,
Yeah.
such as seller's disclosure. What's the seller's motivation? Things like that. Where can I take the occupancy of the property? Things like that. So.
Yeah, that's a good answer. My next one, what do I need to know? Like if I'm starting this from the beginning, I go onto your website, I'm looking at homes, like what do I need to know to be successful at actually buying a home? Like anything that I need to prepare or like be thinking about?
Okay, that's a good question. I always tell people that test the water before jumping in there. And what
okay.
that means is you got to get ready first in order to look for the house. Because in this market that we have shortage of inventory, the sellers, obviously, they're looking for someone that's pre-approved, ready to go, and they are motivated and ready, and they want to make an offer on the house. So the best step for you, for people like yourself, and I'm sure you have done this before, as far as if you have not done qualification with a lender, that's the first step.
Okay.
Now, there's a difference between pre-qualify and pre-approval that we can talk about it later with if you have a question about that. But typically in this market, we do not, people don't accept anything without approval. So that's the first step.
Okay.
And the next step is we sit down and talk. What I usually do, find out what really you want to do. What is the property that you're looking for? And I'll set up, your criteria, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Okay, so I just basically have to have a bank, say, hey, we're going to give you this much money and check my credit and my history and just approve me basically and qualify me to buy a home.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Be in that process.
You know what? And it's also good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for you because then you have it. It's like cash in your pocket.
Yeah,
you
that's so true. Yeah, versus
and
pretending.
this is something that I always encourage my client, if they are going to buy something, they are ready, able to, and motivated to buy. They need to be ready to have that pre-approval, in the pocket to list, to look at properties.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that makes total sense. Let's see. Number 3, how much should I save for a down payment?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't have 20%. I don't have 30%." Right. Nowhere says that you have to have 20% or 30%.
Okay.
Now, I am not the lender, but there are programs for VA that is no down payment. Okay, I mean, there's no, you just basically you buy the house without down payment on this one.
That's awesome.
It'll be 100% qualified. For first-time home buyers, typically 3 to 3.5% is required.
Okay.
Because the lender wants to see that you at least you have that much in your bank.
Right.
Obviously, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
So 3 to 3.5% depends where you are with your credit reports and things like that will get you a property.
Okay.
So if you're buying a $100,000 home, so you just figure that you need $3,000 to $3,500 down payment.
Okay.
And that's just that down payment. Then you also have included to that is the closing costs.
Right.
So you have another $3,000 in there. So you probably for $100,000. I'm just using that as a number. $6,000 to buy to get into the property.
So probably double your down payment right in there, or is it 3%?
It's a 3%, and usually your closing cost is going. I mean, some of them are, you get it back.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be escrow. I mean, the reason I said that is let's just say the worst scenario.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You come in with a $6,000, $7,000. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Actually, a lot of people don't talk about that.
Some of those closing costs can be paid by the seller.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
It can be paid by maybe a lender has got the program that will help you with the closing costs.
Yeah.
And I have lenders in my hand that they are dying to get the client. So obviously I'm in the business. They say, well, David, we got this program and all that stuff, and that way I can save you money. So I have more access to lenders probably because those lenders, 2, 3 of them, they are top notch.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so it really doesn't matter who you work with.
Well, every penny, just think about it. 3%, 3.25% is going to make a difference in your payment, almost about $60.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I mean, why not to save money?
Yeah, agree. Yeah, that's like a few meals there. So $60, go somewhere nice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Buy your dinner, right?
Yeah, a nice dinner on the plaza. Okay, number 4 that I wrote down. What makes a home a good home? For example, so my family has a history. My parents bought their first home back in California, and it looked amazing. But then, it flooded when the rain season came. So we ended up moving out for 2 years, like reconstructing the whole basement area because we were young kids and they couldn't have young kids in such a like moldy area or home. And so when I'm thinking about homes, I'm like, it looks really nice. And a lot of homes, especially in Kansas City, are being like flipped. And so you see this home and you're like, it looks really good. But like, how can I know a home is a good home to like look into? Is that a good question? I hope.
It's awesome.
I asked that question. So.
Yeah, that's a great question because it's a scary question.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, it looks good from outside.
Right.
What's inside? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It feels good from outside. How does it feel if I stay there? Is it what's going to break or something? Typically, we have a history of the property. I know, but there's a program that I have that I can tell if there was a problem with the property in the past.
Okay.
The sellers get a seller's disclosure along with that. So we try to just close the gap of guessing.
Right. Okay.
Then you do want to hire somebody that actually may be an expert in, run you through mechanical, structural, radons, and anything that is concerning you to do the inspection on the property. So that gives you a little bit of what's going on. And I think for the first-time home buyer, even though you don't have to do inspection, but I do ask the buyers to invest in their property and themselves to do it. I mean, why would it's just like buying a car. Yeah. Well, I hate to compare it to buying a car or something like buying a clothes without even looking at it, like do you like it or something. Yeah. You've got to see, you got to try, you got to see if it fits right? Yeah. It's the same thing with buying a house. You just have to see the inspection what they have. That way you can make a decision whether it's the right thing for you.
Okay, that's a good way to see it. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Number 5. So there's a lot of homes in Kansas City, like I said, that are being flipped. And there's a lot of homes that aren't flipped yet. Is it possible, like I'm just honestly curious, can you ask a bank for more money than the house is worth? Will they give you more money than the house is worth in order to make those, repairs and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a program for that. I don't recommend that for the first-time home buyer.
Okay.
Because yes, you can do it, but it's for someone probably like you or someone that just bought, want to buy a house or something, don't have experience with something. It's really not a good idea to do it because yes, you can, but there are programs for that one. Yes.
Okay, there's programs for it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a difficult one because every time you do renovation to the property, you have to show it to the bank that what you're doing, then you get a cash back from them. It's just
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I have not had anybody that liked the process of it because it takes so long to have to get people. They don't know who they're getting and stuff like that. So I think it only happened once because they thought they could do it, but they were disappointed. That's all. You can only advise people whether they should.
Yeah, that's I love hearing your answers because they open my perspective to see I thought it would be this way. Like if that were possible and the bank did give you more money, I'm thinking, they give you $40,000 and you can make all the repairs you need to make or whatever. And I know that's on the lower end sometimes for remodeling a home, and there's no accountability. You would just maybe show them at the end, but you saying that the process is no, it's really back and forth a lot with banks and that's kind of crazy.
And you also have to qualify for that.
Yeah, that's true.
The house is $100,000 and you can bump it to $150,000 or $200,000. It's not as easy that you think it is. Then you have to qualify for that. If you fix the house, you got to pay for that as you moving forward. They call it construction loan in another term for that. Because you basically build in the house.
Yeah, as you buy it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it sounds crazy now that I'm talking about it.
I know.
Nice idea, but we're not doing that. Yeah. Okay, number 6. I know that some banks will give you an ARM, an adjusted rate mortgage. What are your thoughts on that? An ARM, I've had banks say, I'll give you a loan and you don't have to put a down payment down, but your loan will be an ARM. An adjusted rate mortgage versus a conventional mortgage where the interest rates don't change?
That's a good question. There different programs available. One is, ARM. Typically, ARM, it has to be very, I mean, from the, what do I want to say? How do I say it? So we have an ARM, and we also have a conventional loan. We have VA loan, all that stuff. The difference between an ARM and conventional, it's got to be kind of substantial in order to get this to ARM. And other reason that you want to get ARM is just maybe you don't want to stay here in Kansas City for 2-3 years, more than 5 years.
Okay.
So you get it for you get it for 30 years more. I mean, amortizes for 30 years, but then, but it's payment for, it's the ARM for 3 years.
Okay, so like an ARM would actually be beneficial, like easier, because it's most likely easier to get an ARM versus a conventional loan, like if you're not going to be around for a long time.
If you're not going to be here for a long time, I think that's the best thing to do. Like I say, it's got to be aggressive, and it's got to be nice to see. I mean, the difference between the ARM rate and a conventional has got to be almost by 1% to make a difference in your payment.
Yeah.
Usually now they are running close to each other. So I don't know if there's a
So they don't really vary too greatly unless you're in it for like 30
no.
years or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can get a 30 years mortgage and make a double payment.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's just as much as anything else. I mean, you can save your money that way too, or pay as much as you can. I mean, you make your payment, but anytime you make the extra payment, it goes to your principal. So
that's fair. Yeah. That's really good advice. I've never heard it like that. Usually most people are like, do not get an ARM. It is really, really bad. And I'm like, if it were so bad, why is it available? But I mean, there's a lot of bad things available, but it's a good perspective.
There are 3 years, there are balloon mortgage, there are a whole bunch of stuff. If you can qualify for conventional, typically you can qualify for ARM rates.
Absolutely, yeah.
You just have to see your, is it a big difference between one and another or not,
Yeah, I actually, in my situation, I qualified for an ARM right away with no down payment with a bank here in Kansas City because they want like younger people to like really come into their bank. But I asked, what can I do to get a conventional loan? And they said, well, your down payment would just be like 3%. So we'd have to like save like something to the extent of like $10,000, and then closing fees would be like $4,000, so like $14,000.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I could have gotten in a house right away with an ARM, but like I was like, let me go save this money for the conventional loan. But if I guess if I'm not trying to be around forever, maybe an ARM is not so bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Last question. In the Kansas City area, what's a good area for a first like time home buyer? Like, let's say you have a partner, maybe you want kids in like 2, 3, 4 years. Where should you be looking?
Unfortunately, a real estate agent cannot give you that direction. It's called steering.
Okay.
If I tell you like, this area's got more kids, well, I'm discriminating. Another place, right?
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
No kids. The older people, the younger people, their race is this and that and all that stuff. It's just.
So you can't give any of that info.
I can, but I can give you information about maybe crime rate. What's the crime rate? And I can give you information about maybe the household, what they are making as far as the income goes.
Okay,
People
like in that area.
Stuff like that. Yeah. That's available public.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as telling, people say, I want to be in. That there are too many. I want kids. I have kids. I want to be in a kids area.
Lots of kids everywhere.
Well,
yeah.
I can only give you listings.
Okay.
And that are available. Then you choose where you want to live.
That's fair. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Are there any like websites you can look up that like kind of show you a little bit about the neighborhoods? Because when you're not from here, like originally, like in California, I know all the neighborhoods, right? I'm like, don't go there. It's a good place to live. But like Kansas City, I'm like, I kind of feel like I know. You know what I mean?
I know. Is it different subdivision you're talking about? Or?
Yeah, like different, like Waldo versus like a Leawood versus like a Midtown,
We're growing.
Yeah,
Kansas City is growing.
And it's changing really quickly.
It's changing. I've been in this business for very long. Let's just say very long. over 20 years, and I think it's beautiful when you see a development and redevelopment. You see the house that was only maybe $100,000 that turned to be $400,000 property or something like that. You know, is location, location, and location. So you have to kind of see where you want to be and where's that property located, what's close to, and all that stuff. And typically, I mean, if you have those criteria that I have, you're welcome to call me and I can give it to you. And then you can make the better choices of where you want to, you know, take the place that you like.
That's a good way to navigate it. Like, what do I like being around? Like, you know, maybe where do I work?
There are websites that they can give you a lot of information about that too, and I'm happy to help you with that direction too. So
okay, that's cool.
So the best thing to do is just get your qualification first, and then go for that. How do you feel now? Better? All that stuff?
Yeah, because I really do have questions. Like, these are my real questions.
Oh, is that right? Okay, okay.
Yeah, because I'm always like, when I'm sitting like and someone's talking to me about like, or like you're talking to a loan officer, and I'm always like, I have 50 questions, but I'm only going to ask you 3 because I feel overwhelming for the person. And so to get to sit down with somebody, even though we're on camera, but like to really honestly sit down with someone and like ask all your questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have any questions, if you know someone that is probably want to buy a home or sell a home and they have questions, you know, I mean, real estate, myself, I look at myself as a consultant. And consultant is someone actually give you information that you need to make the right decision. Help you to make the right decision, not to take you to where he wants to go or she wants to go or something. But I'm here to listen to your questions and to see what maybe it would be a right fit for you and help you with that direction. And I appreciate you coming. I thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed a little bit of show. And this is David Roozrokh, the KC Real Estate Guy. Thank you.